With potential TV deals for a promotion and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Recalling the moment he cut his hair on Raw, R-Truth revealed his original idea for this, telling The Ringer, "I was actually trying to get John Cena to cut my hair, but that was not gonna happen. That would have been fire." Then I'm like, Cena and I are brothers. We look alike, blah blah blah. Bro, then Hunter came up with this joke. He said, "Cause me and Road Dogg always joked about, yeah, we going bald." But deep down, I'm like, damn, I'm going bald. I'm losing it. But I wasn't gonna let them know that. Then Hunter hit me with this joke. I told him, hey, I'm getting these Ron Cena shirts. Cena's gonna be my brother. We're twins. And he goes, oh, we can't tell y'all apart. Oh wait, we can. One's going bald on the top, the other's going bald in the front. I popped. Then I was like, see, you gotta let me cut it. Asked if it is more fun to be a babyface or a heel in pro wrestling, Cody Rhodes told the Bill Simmons podcast, "Everyone's going to tell you bad guy, but I think that's because they haven't experienced what good guy can really be. Bad guy is fun because you can fall on your face and make a spot out of it. Bad guy is fun. You can stumble on your words in a promo and make a moment out of it. Bad guy is fun because traditionally a bad guy leads the match. But a good guy or good girl that they're actually invested in, that they came for, they're wearing your shirt, they've got signs, that's something different." There's always this argument, oh, Cody, turn heel. Will he turn? I don't think so. They can boo all they want. If certain people decide, yeah, Cody's a heel to me, okay. But I don't think I'd ever turn, because it's just too much of a connection with those who were on board with me. I think it's harder to be a good guy. That's the thing. It's harder. Harder to pull it off. For a while, they were extinct. They just wanted anti-heroes, edgy TV. TV and wrestling are always married. Every heel out there has the best social media, the best one-liners that leave most baby faces like dick in hand. Oh, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? So to be a really good baby face, you have to rise above it. And that's very hard. Jey Uso, I look at him as probably a great example. So popular. And it's not easy. It's not easy to make that connection with them. And I feel like it's even harder to keep it because baby faces get beat up a lot on TV. To me, it's such a gift. Today, I feel like our attention spans are shorter. When they start booing a good guy, people think it's time for a turn. No. To me, that's just an away game. I always know too. I know when it's an away game. Hey, we're going into their arena tonight. It's an away game. Mentioning how WWE wanted to buy Mexican pro wrestling promotion CMLL, Dave Meltzer noted in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, with the WWE purchase of AAA just about completed, it should be noted that a story that didn't get out much was that a few years ago, WWE was in talks about purchasing CMLL well before the current boom period there. There were talks. They obviously didn't reach a conclusion. The only thing I recall from the time is that WWE didn't know what to do about all the arenas CMLL owned. Asked to name the most challenging part of training for pro wrestling, Jelly Roll told ESPN, the physicality. Man, listen, that old wrestling is fake idea, that needs to go out the window. There's no fake way to land on a piece of plywood in front of 60,000 people. There's no fake way to flip over a cable rope with 65,000 people watching. You know what I mean? I broke my pinky finger by accident in the first week of training. It's just constant impact, constant collision, man. It's real and it's tough. Sharing his thoughts on WWE Unreal, CM Punk said this to ESPN MMA. I watched all 5 episodes of WWE Unreal, and there were some things, of course, I rolled my eyes at, and I was annoyed at, but 90% of my takeaway was, this was fantastic, because you get to see somebody like Charlotte Flair, and it humanizes her, you know? Wrestling fans, especially the ones consuming this, the hardcore fans, they're always going to watch. but they all have these parasocial relationships with us. They think they know us. I think this can peel back the curtain a little bit to show you that no, man, we have real human emotions. We are human beings just like everybody else. You probably don't know us the way you think you do. It's a strange business, right? Because you're always going to have people who will watch and they're going to tell me about my life and everything. They think they know more than me about me. With it said that Alberto Del Rio is expected to return to AAA, Hugo Savinovich provided more information on this, telling Lucha Libre Online, "There are people in WWE impressed with Alberto and how he carries himself in Mexico, including The Undertaker. I was among the first to say The Undertaker was present at the AAA event in Juan de la Barrera. That matters. When Undertaker gives you a hug and tells you, 'I know what you're doing,' he doesn't say things he doesn't mean. This isn't just Hugo talking. I can say that not only did Wrestling Observer confirm many within WWE are advocating for Alberto's return, but our entire Lucha Libre Online team supports what I'm telling you. Wrestlers, creative team members, they all know Alberto deserves it. Alberto earned the respect of one of the toughest wrestling crowds in the world, the Mexican audience. He defended that title in Qatar, Puerto Rico, the US. He's a wrestler. He's a star. That's why people inside WWE, strong voices, are saying he's ready. Alberto Del Rio is a WWE product. They've even talked about refreshing his gimmick, bringing him in with his usual assistant waving the Mexican flag. But then, plot twist, he takes off the Mexican flag shirt and reveals an American flag with a new tagline, "Make WWE Great Again." He says he's no longer from Mexico. That's a heavy line for a Mexican, but fans know it's storytelling. He says, "I'm Alberto Del Rio from Washington, D.C." That's the gimmick. It's a refresh. Giving an update on WWE Speed matches, Dave Meltzer said this in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. "It appears WWE Speed is gone. They haven't been taping new episodes and the titles have been forgotten. The deal with X probably expired. Whether it will be renewed or brought back isn't clear. Those we've asked haven't known one way or the other, basically giving the impressions it was so insignificant that nobody has talked about it. There was no official word one way or the other. If you take away the Speed titles, that would leave WWE with 21 championships once the ID champions are crowned. I'm guessing the ID titles won't be talked about on TV, but the Evolve titles are talked about on NXT, so 19 of those 21 will be talked about on TV. Asked about his nephew Zilla Fatu debuting at TNA Slammiversary, Rikishi noted on his Off the Top podcast, "You know, I get it. Your pops' friend was Jeff Hardy, right? If Zilla had long hair, I would have thought it was Jeff Hardy out there. On the independent circuit, Zilla's been building his brand as Umaga's son. But that Slammiversary debut was probably his first real big TV broadcast moment. I didn't really understand why he painted his face. To me, that wasn't good marketing. It looked like he was trying to market Jeff Hardy, and let's be real, Jeff Hardy doesn't need any marketing. Jeff's an icon already. I get it, Zilla loves Jeff, and Jeff loved his pops. But Zilla's pops isn't here anymore, and I just feel like coming out as himself, as who we see him as, would have helped him more than trying to channel Jeff with that paint." Zilla replied in a now deleted post on X, "For you to talk down on me and chase for clout is out of pocket. You got my number, so why you ain't text me or call me personally and put me on game? Rikishi, instead you went on your podcast and do the most. And FYI, Unc, my pops is here. He ain't never left." When it comes to TNA Wrestling getting a new television deal, Ringside News wrote that TNA Wrestling could be on the verge of a major TV shakeup, with new reports pointing to A&E and the CW as potential broadcast homes for the promotion. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, both networks have been in the mix as possible partners, and WWE is said to be involved in the conversations given the working relationship between the two companies. Meltzer wrote that both A&E and the CW have been rumored as potential new broadcast partners for TNA. Due to the working relationship between the two wrestling promotions, WWE would have been involved in the discussions with either network. The report also raised the possibility of TNA shifting its weekly show to a different night. From a strategic standpoint, Wednesday was described as the best night for WWE's interests, since it would put TNA directly against AEW Dynamite. At the same time, Meltzer noted that Sunday could also make sense for A&E, since the network could use TNA as a lead into WWE's reality series, LFG, which has been struggling in the ratings. This update comes just weeks after TNA president Carlos Silva said during an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show that the company was close to finalizing a deal with a bigger platform and that an announcement could be made within 60 to 90 days. With A&E and the CW now in the conversation, fans are left wondering which direction TNA will go. Talking about potentially turning heel in WWE, Cody Rhodes told First Take, "I always like to say in what we do, never say never. And the more you're in this, it's probably likely. But I think my version of a heel is just way too, I don't know, I wouldn't have music. The song would go away. The entrance would go away. I'd try to get myself canceled. I don't know if it would even translate. Never say never, but I don't see it happening anytime soon." Responding to a question regarding the criticism her character in WWE receives, Charlotte Flair said this on Busted Open Radio: "It's constant pressure, not knowing how to elevate myself. I know how to elevate my partner or other talent, but how do I elevate me? When I'm told I'm always the same character, but I keep getting put in the same role, how am I supposed to evolve? Why do I always face Charlotte Flair? Because it's a big deal, because she treats the title seriously. So how can I be anything different in that position? I can't go into a title match goofing off. I can't be something I'm not. I can't come out with pom-poms if I'm chasing the most important prize in our division, the world title. I didn't have a choice. Yes, I've been the constant, but that constancy, while valuable, also held me back. Not personally, but for my character. It became a limitation." Going over the possibility of Dominik Mysterio winning gold in AAA, this was said on WrestleVotes Radio, following his recent appearance at AAA and the announcement of the four-way at Triple Mania. WWE is strongly considering putting the AAA Mega Championship around Dominik Mysterio's waist. The idea of AAA's top champion also appearing weekly on Netflix is said to be appealing to all sides involved. Staying on the topic of AAA, it appears a WWE star could also be in line for a push there, with Ringside News writing, "El Grande Americano isn't just a throwaway gimmick in Lucha Libre AAA. He's being lined up as one of the promotion's biggest stars." According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, AAA officials see the masked character as a major player in the promotion, especially with WWE and AAA's partnership heating up. Dave Meltzer noted that Grande Americano now speaks and sings in Spanish and will be there as a major player and not a comedy figure. That direction was clear during his recent AAA debut when he brought the crowd to its feet by singing the classic Mexican anthem, Cielito Lindo. The El Grande Americano role was first created for Chad Gable, but with this rotator cuff injury keeping him out, WWE shifted the character to Ludwig Kaiser, who delivered the debut performance in AAA. To add more intrigue, this past week on Raw, Pete Dunne appeared under a different mask, teasing another wrinkle in the storyline. AAA plans to put this character on its biggest stage yet, Triple Mania on August 16th. El Grande Americano is officially set to challenge for the AAA Mega Championship in a four-way match against El Hijo del Vikingo, Dominik Mysterio, and Dragon Lee. Recalling how Hulk Hogan was booed for his last appearance on Raw, Jimmy Hart told stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw. We were going to Los Angeles. Now, going in there, which I kind of told Hulk, I said, wow, blue state, red state. I said, woo, he had a Trump Vance t-shirt on, which he had done some pre-publicity in. I'm going, oh my gosh, this is gonna be good. We kind of get a mixed reaction, and you know this, you can have 500 people cheering you and one person booing you, but I'll be darned if that one person booing doesn't outshine the 500 cheering for you. So we go out, it's kind of a mixed reaction, but a little bit more boos than anything, and that devastated him. We got in the back and he said, what do you think happened? I said, Hulk, it's simple. Blue state, red state, Trump fans. I mean, really, but that bothered him because of that. Then the next week, we're in Texas, and it's all cheers, but that always bothered him. Previously, Hogan downplayed the reaction in Los Angeles, telling Ariel Helwani, well, it's kind of weird, because a lot of people forget that professional wrestling is a work, and so I've seen The Rock in Vegas. I love him to death. I've seen The Rock in Vegas. I've seen The Rock in LA, and they booed him out of the building. Hulk Hogan goes to LA, they boo him out of the building, and everybody, bam, what is it? 3.2 billion interactions or something? Just crazy numbers. A lot of people have advice, and a lot of people have opinions about why I got booed or stuff that I should fix or not fix. But then I'll go to New York or I'll go to Chicago and they'll cheer me out of the building. And I should probably turn to those same people that gave me advice before and ask them, what do I do about people cheering me now? So I'm so used to being cheered or booed. It's kind of like if you don't get a reaction, there's a serious problem. If they weren't nipping at my heels, I wouldn't feel alive or wouldn't even feel relative. So I'm really kind of used to it. My whole career has been like this. Touching on her departure from WWE earlier this year, Bea Priestley, known in WWE as Blair Davenport, told Rule Breakers, they released me. I'd say I was surprised, but I wasn't because I wasn't really used. They had plans for me though. I was supposed to be on the Europe tour in March. I had the flights. I was supposed to be with Piper and Chelsea. I was supposed to be doing what Alba's doing now, doing the Secret Hervis thing. Me and Piper were getting matching gear made. We'd had conversations about what they wanted us to wear, how they wanted us to act, everything. So it was definitely a thing that creative were planning. I got released 6 days after the Rumble. At the Rumble, TR came to me like, hey, you're going to be on the road every single week as of next week. Just be ready. You're going to be used all the time because Chelsea's always used. So I was like, perfect. This is great for me. I'm excited. Xavier Woods messaged me. He was really sad because I had a meet and greet the morning of Rumble Day. He shared the card with me and asked how you feel about not being in the Rumble. I said, I'd rather have a really good year and be in the Rumble with purpose rather than just being another number. He told me, that's actually a really good positive. We need more people like you, B. During that same interview, Priestley talked about her battle with a brain tumor. I was fine until I was like 14, and then all of a sudden, I started having these really violent seizures, but only at nighttime. I tried to tell my parents, but they didn't know anything about it. They thought I was having panic attacks, so I was sent to therapy. I'd have multiple seizures, but I wouldn't remember them. There were times I'd fall out of bed, whack my head on my bedside table, and get knocked out. They thought I had childhood trauma or something, but I had no memory of anything like that. When I was 15, we went back to England to visit family and I had a seizure on the plane. I remember blacking out of my seat and waking up with staff restraining me at the back of the plane. That's when my parents were like, okay, this is something different. Back in New Zealand, they sent me to a neurologist. They found I had a brain tumor, but it was on my skull. They think I was born with it, and then I hit my teenage years, my brain started growing into the tumor, so it was constant. I was on a medication called Tegretol that made me drowsy, slowed my brain down, and basically made me feel like a zombie. It worked for a few years, but then stopped working. I ended up blacking out on my way home from work and found myself on a random train platform. No idea how I got there. There were times I had seizures while eating. If my flatmates weren't there, I would have choked. I couldn't lock the bathroom door in case I had a seizure. Couldn't sleep with my door closed. I wasn't even allowed to have a job anymore. My dad had to drive 10 hours to pick me up and take me back home. They cut my skull, pulled my face back, took out the tumor, and reattached it with metal. I've got a scar from my ear all the way across and a dent in my skull. I've never been concussed in my life. I've been kicked in the head, dropped on my head, never been concussed. I always say it's because I've got a metal head. Revealing that she got hurt during her match on Raw on July 28th, Nikki Bella noted on the Nikki and Bree show, "I was in pain, but I didn't want the match to end. I think my implant is stuck in my ribs. I went to the doctor yesterday to get my tit looked at. I was just telling Bree I was having conversations with my shirt off. I didn't think I'd be here today in New York City getting my boobs looked at, knowing that my implant is moved. Anyone see that heat spot Monday night, Piper's elbow drop? Yeah, put the implants right into the ribs. It's been hard to laugh and cough, but it's okay. We're gonna get it fixed one day." Reporting when Bianca Belair could be returning to WWE after injuring her finger at WrestleMania 41, WrestleVotes wrote this on X. According to sources, we are told Bianca Belair is closing in on her return. The former three-time women's champion is expected to be cleared for action this upcoming week and could appear as soon as the SmackDown following SummerSlam on August 9th. She won't be cleared ahead of this weekend, per one source. Talking about Travis Scott busting his eardrum at Elimination Chamber, Cody Rhodes revealed why he let Scott get away with this, telling Hot Ones, "I wish I could tell you it wasn't true, because I wanted someone else to get the credit for that. So you've got Rock in the ring and you've got Cena in the ring, but my man Travis, nothing but love for him. He's got a big old hand, so yes, it did bust my eardrum. If anyone ever wonders why I didn't slap him, he's gracing us with his presence. In wrestling right now, we're getting all these fun folks, but years ago, it wasn't that easy. I'm not saying I want you to come back, man. Yeah, right. Hospitality. Our house. Our house is your house. You know, maybe swing a little less, but our house is your house. So yeah, Travis did that. That's a fact." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.